Chapter 52. The Bishop's Gambit. The imposing, dark-cloaked figure who had silently dispatched Quodrak's subordinate addressed the terrified merchant. He observed that Quodrak, being a living being intoxicated by greed, could not see far ahead. Quodrak, startled and sweating profusely, stammered, "Goodness, just when I needed help." The figure, a bishop of the Holy Demon Church, flanked by a hulking, armored enforcer, coolly remarked that Quodrak had arrived at a really good time. Quodrak, emboldened by the bishop's presence, lamented that he guessed there was no way he could just die in this world. The bishop had even been sent to aid him. He then pleaded for the bishop's assistance. He stated that Quodrak and Ed Troyven were not, in fact, in the same boat. Quodrak, confused and desperate, argued that this meant the bishop was in the same boat as them, the Ceres Guild, and began to beg for help. The bishop cut him off, stating he would help because he might need Quodrak on the Day of Judgment. But before that, he demanded to know where the documents related to Troyven were. Quodrak, feigning indignation, asked why the bishop was looking for them, claiming they were his source of money and he'd hidden them well enough. The bishop, unimpressed, told Quodrak that if it was money he needed, he should ensure he did this job well. He then grabbed Quodrak by the face, a pained grunt escaping the merchant. The bishop, looking down at the struggling merchant, called him an arrogant and foolish man. He questioned if Quodrak truly intended to defile the Great Lord's plan, calling him a wretched non-believer. The armored enforcer behind the bishop declared enough and ordered Quodrak killed, stating that people willing to provide funds were already lined up. The enforcer's grip tightened, choking Quodrak, who began to apologize frantically. He babbled that he had been very rude to the bishop and that if he died now, Troyven would continue to be suspected. The bishop remained silent for a moment, then, with a dismissive flick of his wrist, sent Quodrak sprawling to the floor. He then ordered his enforcer to burn all documents related to Troyven immediately. He warned the enforcer not to even think of running away, because the Lord was watching over everything. He then turned to the terrified Quodrak, telling him to hurry up if he wanted to live. Quodrak scrambled away with a shriek. Outside, Theo, Naven, Evelyn, and Cleve were still battling their way through the Ceres and Bacchus forces. Theo declared he would break through the entrance. Soon, the main chapel doors burst open again. Theo stopped in his tracks, a look of grim realization on his face. A bishop of the Holy Demon Church stood there, flanked by monstrous figures, intoning for believers to rejoice. The time had come to carry out the holy war. Theo thought grimly that the bishop had finally shown himself. The bishop, an imposing figure radiating dark power, stretched out a pale, long-nailed hand, proclaiming that through their blood, God would descend. The horde of red-hooded cultists behind him echoed the sentiment, chanting that God would come through their blood, to worship their Lord, their voices a cacophony of zealotry. Theo and his companions prepared for the onslaught, the air thick with menace and the scent of blood. Theo remarked that he had expected the demonic cult to be behind this, but it still surprised him to see they had even mobilized a bishop. His eyes narrowed, focusing on a new, far more dangerous threat. Two cultists lunged at him, their movements unnaturally fast. Theo met their attack, his sword a blur as he parried and riposted, dispatching them with brutal efficiency. More cultists swarmed forward. Evelyn cursed the crazy bastards. Naven, deflecting multiple attacks, wondered aloud if they would be okay against such numbers, as they just kept coming, like an endless tide of nope. Cleve, observing the bishop directing the cultists, remained silent for a moment, then muttered that the bishop had indeed come out. This was going to be more troublesome than she had initially expected. However, she then caught sight of something that made her grip her naginata with renewed purpose. Wait, it turned out better than I expected, though. Her weapon spun with deadly grace. Theo declared that now he had a reason to come forward. In the end, they were still standing. The four allies stood back to back, surrounded by the cultist horde, the Ragnar banner planted defiantly behind them. Cleve used the banner pole as a vault. Launching herself into the air, her naginata scything through the enemy ranks as she landed. She announced that from now on, she would take the lead. They couldn't sit idly by and watch those who stood in Ragnar's way. She vowed to destroy this place. Theo yelled at her to hold on, reminding her not to forget why they came. They needed to get the documents before they were destroyed. The bishop, overhearing this, allowed a derisive ha-dash and commented that he thought he had overestimated Theo. He drew his own blade, a swirling dark energy enveloping it. Since the demonic cult had revealed itself now, he declared they didn't need further evidence. Theo shouted back that it was the opposite. For the cult to interfere this much meant there must be something crucial they couldn't let the Ragnars get their hands on. She merely looked at him, asking if Theo knew that. Then what was he going to do? Theo retorted that no matter their priority, they needed to break through the cultists first. By the time they managed that, the evidence would likely be destroyed. He readied his sword. Then a determined glint appeared in his eyes. I have a way. He activated his hatchling synchronization, linking it with his lightning gate. The system announced the range of his synchronization would be greatly expanded. He used the enhanced ability to scan the surrounding terrain, his senses spreading out like a vast net, mapping the entire series guild compound. Cleve, observing his focused state, decided that while there was no hard evidence, since the Black Dragon, Robert, had sent them here, they should observe for a while longer. The bishop, seeing an opening, sneered, "How dare you let your guard down?" He launched himself into the air. Cleve, unfazed, told Theo she would believe him this time. She and Evelyn would take care of what was happening here, so Theo should make sure to secure the evidence. One of the hooded cultists fell to her blade. Theo, confident in his plan, yelled back, "Leave it to me," then plunged into the sea of red-robed figures. His eyes glowed with a fierce light as he carved a path through the cultists. Evelyn, seeing an opening created by Naven, launched herself into a spinning attack, green energy trails lacing through the enemy ranks. Naven informed Theo he had cleared the way, telling him to go now, surprisingly addressing him as Lord. Evelyn, overhearing, questioned when Naven had even met Theo to start calling him Lord. Theo didn't pause to answer. Dark lightning flared around him, thanking his two companions. As he unleashed the Lightning Dragon Rapid Protection technique, opening the Dragon Gate, he knew they wouldn't entrust the crucial task of destroying top-secret documents to just anyone. If there was someone fit for that job, it would naturally be the High Commander Quodrax series himself. His enhanced senses pierced through the chaos, pinpointing Quodrax's location within the main building. Found him, Theo declared, a predatory grin spreading across his face as he locked onto his target. Quodrax series. A new system notification flashed. Scenario quest number 4. Ties of evil from a past life. It's a chance to settle the grudges of your past life. Stop their conspiracy.